Happy Saturday morning, everyone. It's Christy Warren. It is 10:27 on a Saturday, and I was working hard trying to get this video to focus and come in, and I'm still messing with it, and it's just going to be what it is. I haven't been on here for a long time, a little while. It's been a long time since I posted a video. My sister made mention that she was going to start doing some little stuff on Facebook. I said I have a whole YouTube channel that I don't use. And my mind is so jumbled. It's been so much that went on, and my hair is big today and a mess and just pulled up over my head because I had braids and I took those down, and it was a struggle, as life tends to be. So I'm going to just give a disclaimer that this is going to be very, very random. I've just been thinking about some stuff that I saw on Facebook, and no, I'm not going to talk about the Oscars and all that because I'm not that kind of person. I like to talk about life and us as individual, everyday, working class people, try to deal with it and live with the things that happen. So some of the stuff. Easter weekend is right here. We're sitting at Easter weekend. And, I'm seeing stuff that people are posting, and, rabbits are coming, and seeing the kids. I mean, that's for the kids. Let the kids have that and all that kind of stuff. But, you teach them the right way. And then if you got jobs, you can't really just post on Facebook about what your job is doing and how that's not what it's about and all that kind of stuff, because it's kind of derogatory remarks towards your employer. But I've also been noticing like some posts about parenthood and how, if my kid ever asks for this or my kid wants this, then I'm going to make sure I get them this, and they can be 28, 30, whatever. It's great to help your kids. My experience, I know that the Bible says that kids are a joy. And when they were babies, mine were awesome. They were great. When they were toddlers, they were great. Childhood came in, they learned how to walk and talk. This is just a real life thing. Things took a turn because we all have our own opinions, and no matter what we're taught, you can take them to church, you can do this and that, and no matter what we're taught, we have our own opinions and we have our own thoughts. We feel like people should do this and they should do that, and even as children feel like your parents should do this and they should do that, and there's certain stuff that should and should not happen in certain ways that they're supposed to act and not act, and it just turns into a great big mess after a while. And it's at some point I reshared something on my Facebook that the hardest part about being a parent is when you have to let your children learn for themselves. You got to let go, and you got to step back, and you got to let them learn for themselves. The reason why it just keeps coming up is because it's Easter, and most places, most churches, most people that are involved in their church are getting prepared for Easter programs. And thinking about that, we always look at Sunday school lessons will take you through Palm Sunday, and then it'll take you all the way up to resurrection. And when you think about that, and you think about the fact that we are looking at a spirit sent down from heaven in the form of a man that came here and knew his purpose, because y'all know I was going to take it to God, and I'm just, that's just who I am. And he was sent here knowing what his purpose is. As a matter of fact, he requested to come here. He looked down and saw the state we were in and said, make me a body. And so God sent him here in the form of man. And he came down 42 generations, lived 33 years here on earth, walked among men, and did miracles. And this is the thing that gets me. A bunch of us, we have so much trouble figuring out what our purpose is and knowing what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to go, because even though we might have got baptized earlier, been in church our whole lives, you get to make choices for yourself. And as kids, most kids' mindset, we went to church too much. I ain't never going back to church no more. I'm sick of going to church, and I don't want to do that, and I don't think that's necessary. And when you're younger, it's not necessary. Because I was younger, and for me, when I was younger, it was not necessary because everything was done for you. The bills were paid, the food was bought, everything you needed, toiletries, they were bought. You didn't have to worry about car insurance, house note, car note, water, lights, gas, food, none of that. No shelter, none of that. It was all taken care of. It becomes necessary at the point when you are in control of your own personal being, when you're in control of your own food, your own shelter. That's when it becomes necessary, because then you have obstacles and struggles. In school, you have obstacles and struggles, and that's basically keeping up with the kids and worrying about being bullied and picked on. And at this day and age, back then when I was coming up, it wasn't as severe. We lived to fight another day, but now we got cyberbullying and all of this. So for some of these kids, it's very necessary that not just going to church, but that they get a deeper relationship with God than what some of us ever had when we were younger. That being said, I always dwell on purpose because it's very important to me. I said as a child, I wanted to be a counselor. And then at 19, I got married, right? Even though everybody told me not to, I got married. I can admit to this day, I tell you, I wasn't in love. It wasn't a high school sweetheart. Me and the high school sweetheart, it broke up. And this was, I guess, the rebound guy or the protector, or somebody was there because the high school sweetheart had tripped out and lost his godforsaken mind. But it goes back to that was a dream, that was a goal. I had always did that, playing playhouse as a kid up to my granny and big daddies. So fast forward to now, I went the long route. I got married at 19. I went to school and got an associate's degree in general business. And I started working for call center about a year or so after I had got that degree, because I started trying to go through divorce, separation, had 2 kids, all kinds of stuff. Life happens, okay? So in the process of life happening, and I did all of that, I turned around, and in 2010, I turned around and I started going back to school, and I got my bachelor's degree and finished that in 2013. And the major was human services, because I did it because I had a child that had a whole bunch of behavioral issues, and I didn't feel like what he was diagnosed with was accurate. They always try to throw ADHD on kids. I didn't feel like it was accurate. He didn't feel like it was accurate. He was just angry child. It wasn't I'm hyper. It was I'm angry, and he had a bunch of avoidance issues, and he wanted to do what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. So I went to school to try to find out. And in the process of that, it struck my memory, you always wanted to be a counselor. This is what you want to do. Follow me, go with me. So I turned around, and my mama said, may she rest in peace, my mama said, don't you want your master's? I was like, no, I don't want to go to school no more, because I don't like school. I didn't like it when I was in it back then. So no, I don't. So I turned around, still and yet, even though I said I didn't want it, I still and yet turned around and went back to school in 2019 and graduated in 2020 with my master's in psychology. And so then a friend of mine who was awesome and great, she's an LPC and an LCDC, awesome and great, we started talking about chemical dependency, and don't even know how it kind of got brought up. Well, what happened was, a few years before I took the job that I was at when I met her, I had interviewed for a company, and they had called me and asked me did I want to be a counselor intern, because I had enough credits to where I could do that and I could work with them and get my credits. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that, because number one, it's like a prison treatment facility, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then me and the friend that I worked with at the job, we started talking about it. And so I was like, well, let me go ahead and do this counselor intern. So I sent in my application and my money, and because I had a master's, I became a counselor intern, LCDC intern, actually, licensed chemical dependency counselor. And I had a master's, but I was 9 credits short, so I was 3 classes short, or else I would have had to did the 4,000 hours. So I was like, either I'm gonna do these 4,000 hours. I took the job that I said I didn't want it a few years before. Took that job, and I was like, let me get the hours, but I was like, I really don't need them, because I had already enrolled in another master's program to get those 3 other classes, because on the 24th, God willing and the creeks don't rise, I'm gonna be 46 years old. My kids are adults. They're 25, 22, and 18. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm just tired of school and work. It's got to be more to life than paying bills, going to school, and working. It's got to be something else, you know. So anyway, I finished, and you know, with God's blessing and everything lined up according to His will and His way, Now I have an associate's in business, a bachelor's in human services, a master's in psychology. I'm a certified life coach, a certified community health worker, and now I'm a fully licensed chemical dependency counselor. Took my test and passed that in February, and then submitted my letters and everything, not even through the job because the job would have paid for it. And then I moved on and went back to another job at a company that I used to work for years ago and loved the company and loved the people. The pay just wasn't all that great, and because, you know, some things have changed and the economy has changed, they changed their pay scale, so it's making it doable because I'm a homeowner and I got mortgage, and Cheetos don't pay for that, and I'm just sorry, that's just what that is, and I still got a car note and other stuff to do. So goes back to the purpose. I ain't lost my spot, I'm still there. Follow me, go with me. So it goes back to Jesus knowing what his purpose was. And then we take jobs and we do stuff because we live in the real world, and we got to pay a bill, and we got to support kids, and we got to eat, and we got to pay bills, and it don't stop, and it don't stop, and it don't stop. But when there's purpose in you and you know what it is, and God will bring it back to your remembrance, and it'll always keep coming up. And even though if that is your purpose in life, you're going to continue on. Just think about it. We feel like we've lost, and I kick myself because I'm like, I waited this long. Me and my sisters and my cousins, because our parents have passed away. So me and my sisters don't have a mom or a dad. My cousin didn't have her mom. I think her dad's still living, but we all kind of text and talk. And so, you know, I was like, it took me this long to get my life together. I'm finally in a house that ain't raggedy. I got a car that ain't raggedy. You know what I'm saying? Got a man that ain't raggedy. Got a job that ain't raggedy. And finally trying to do some stuff with my life. And it took me to this point, almost 46, to be an adult. And so that's why I say the audacity of these children, because I got one. And that's the reason why I said I'm real passionate about it, because like I said, my kids were in church and in Sunday school, and I was taking them and doing them. And the Bible say train them up in the way they should go, and when they old, they won't depart from it. But what the ladies at church told me, they gonna choose their own way, but you gotta let them come back. So I can't fix that thing for him and make him get on the right path, even though he doing stuff that he not supposed to, and the other one did stuff that he not supposed to. Now he gotta pay that debt to society. You see what I'm saying? And I had to let him do that. I did my purpose as a mother. I completed that. Then I had a purpose in a career, a God-given gift that I was not operating in, which was to help people. So then God cleared that path and blessed it. And all of this time along the way, I've been trying to explain to people. I'm so emotional, so upset about it, so fired up, because all of my kids at a point in their life, they made me feel like I sucked as a mom, but they kids. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? And then having to explain myself to full-blown adults. Why are you doing this? Why you did that? I was that parent that in my 20s, I stopped clubbing. I stopped doing all of that. I was at home. I was with my kids. I never went anywhere. I never did anything. I took 2 trips to Hawaii and to the Bahamas, and then a whole bunch of crap got stirred up and started about that. It wasn't even that deep, people, but I thought about it. And this is why I say it might not be that deep to you when you're younger, but when you're older, you start realizing the principles in the Bible and things that Jesus did start lining up with your life and your way and how you're supposed to operate and function. And when you get that, it takes some of the pressure off and it relieves some of the anxiety, because here it is. I kept explaining to people, but Jesus never explained his purpose here to people. When the disciples came to him with that foolishness and said, some say you this and some say you that and da-da-da. He said, but who do you say I am? He didn't tell them who he was. He asked them, who do you say I am? When he went to a town that was supposed to be where his family was, and he said, and his own received him not. What did he do? Shook the dust from his feet and he went on. And then he was there and he couldn't perform many miracles because of lack of unbelief. He didn't explain himself to nobody. When we get that, we keep trying to explain ourselves and trying to fix it. I ain't got to explain nothing to damn kid I had about why I did what I did. I did the best I could with what I had, and I raised you the best way I can. I don't have to explain nothing to now grown up why you do this and why you didn't do it this way. Baby, your name is not on the bottom of my check. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. You're not paying half on these bills. We got life so confused, and we want to be everything that everybody wants us to be, and it pulls us and snatches us in so many different directions. And the truth be told, people think, oh, she's so confident and she got it together. I have so much anxiety. For years, I took Lexapro and got off of it because I had vertigo. And a side effect of Lexapro is that it gives you dizziness. And I kept being dizzy and dizzy and dizzy. But then I realized the other day, talking to my sisters and thinking a bunch of issues that I have is stuff I created in my own mind. A bunch of this sick that I have and not feeling good, because I was like, nobody ain't sick every day and feel bad. A bunch of it is in my mind. I work my nerves up and my anxiety up, and I gotta be here and I gotta be there. And I worked so hard trying to be the greatest mom. And when I was married, I worked so hard trying to be the greatest wife. But my husband at the time, this person that I married was dependent on drugs. And then he left the drugs and now he's on the alcohol. And I can't fix that. But it's nothing with me that's going to make him be better than that. He got to want that for himself. Jesus knew what his purpose was. He came and he did what he had to do and he fulfilled his purpose. Did he get upset? Yes. When he walked into the temple and the people, yeah, my phone going off, y'all, sorry. When he walked into the temple and the people was gambling, that's his house. He turned them tables over. He did what he did and he went on. And we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to get ourselves together and do what we supposed to do and go on from that point. We want to try to explain stuff and fix it for everybody and want to try to make them okay with what we doing. They don't have to be okay with what you're doing. You have to be okay with what you're doing, and what you're doing got to please God and be in the will of God. When you get outside the will of God, that's when you got a problem. These people, these kids we raise, these jobs, if you get sick and God forbid you die, them people will have your job posted before your obituary is posted. Yeah, when you there, everybody is loving you and caring about you and all of this here kind of stuff and oh, you so great. Yeah, that's wonderful. But when you gone, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different story. Everybody with you ain't for you, and everybody that came with you can't go with you. We try to take people, and I stole that from Steve Harvey. I'm gonna give him his credit. Long time ago on one of his morning shows, he said that everybody came with you, can't go with you. A lot of times we think that everybody we grew up with and everybody that's in our family. I got some cousins. Tell the truth, shame the devil. I got some cousins, I got some aunties and stuff that we don't get down like that. We don't rock like that. We don't hang out. We don't call each other every day. We don't talk every day. And when we get together, we hardly have anything to say. They don't know nothing about me and I don't know nothing about them. And it's okay. Blood is blood and that's fine. That's genealogy. That's wonderful. You can trace it back. It's people I probably ain't never met. We can trace it back and we can do all of these kind of family trees. But what they got to do with me and God and where I'm trying to go? We always feel like family this and family that and friend this and friend that. What they got to do with you and God and where you trying to go? I mean, that's the point. And we lose the point. We trying to build up this great big old circle because everybody keep talking about circle, 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 circle. And one more time, because we on Easter, Jesus had 12 and one of the 12 betrayed him. So circle, 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 what? That's all I'm saying. We trying to get all of these people in here. My circle's so close. Every time I turn around, I don't see nobody but me. Hey, I'm not worried about it. But we worried about circle, circle, circle. And Jesus knew that man was going to betray him, sat down with him and ate with him, broke bread with him, and told him he was going to betray him. And then the man called his own self out. And what I love about it, because we talked about it in Sunday school, was when they sat down there and they had the first communion. They had the Last Supper. And he said, one of you will betray me. They checked themselves. We don't check ourselves. We check everybody else, but we don't worry about us. What's your problem? What's your issue? Don't run down nobody else. Don't try to speculate on nobody else's situation. What is the purpose that you're supposed to be doing? And are you lined up with it? And are you doing? I told you this is going to be a bunch of ramble. I'm so full and excited about Easter stuff. It's so much. And when you look at it, I'm like, this stuff was tormenting me and making me feel some whole type of way about my life. And then I made a conscious decision 2 days ago. I have fulfilled like my educational and my career purposes. I'm in the field that I always said I was going to be. And this would make me so mad because all my life people said, you ain't got to worry about that little old funky degree because people don't always work in the degree that they got no way. You ain't got to worry about that degree. You ain't got to do this. You ain't got to do that. Worry about you, boo. Worry about you. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, so I'm never gonna use this. I'm gonna just tell the truth. I owe these people as much in student loans as I do on my house. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of them. That's crazy. I owe these people all this money. You trying to tell me I ain't never gonna work in that field? I ain't never gonna use none of this stuff. You and the devil and the horse you rode in, every last one of y'all is a lie. So we gotta know who we are. We gotta know why we here. And that's sometimes the anxiety and the frustration because we don't know our purpose. And here's how you get to that point. People don't believe. We think fasting and sacrificing and all that kind of stuff. Me and the ladies at my church, we're not Catholic, but we give up something for the 40 days, which is Lent for the Catholics. We give up something for that 40-day time span up until Easter. Okay? So, and then when I was getting ready to study for my LCDC exam, I gave up something. I sacrificed something because I had to show God, for me, I had to get that closeness with God and show God, I'm dependent on you. I'm not dependent on this. I was off of Facebook, I know, for a good 30 something days when I was studying for my LCDC exam and getting ready for it. I was off of there like 2 weeks before I registered for it. And then all of that time after I registered for it, leading up to it. And it just, everything fell into place like it was supposed to fall into place. The money was there, everything was there. When you follow the principles of God and you do what God say, he'll make the thing work out. Our problem is we not following the principles of God. We following the principles of people. We trying to listen to them. They so bright. It's just like I'm making a YouTube video. You ain't got to take my advice or nothing. But like I said, as a life coach, whenever you trying to let people, when you trying to tell people that what you have works, the product that you have to offer works, I have did these things for myself. One reason why I wanted to be a life coach, and one reason I didn't want to be an LPC or a social worker is because I'm not woo woo woo. I'm not to pet you up and make you feel good. I'm the let's get your life all the way together, honey, because this is trifling and trickish and sorry and raggedy. And let's get off that road and get on to something else. Because if you on a road and it's a whole bunch of people and it's a whole great big crowd and y'all all going the same direction, the word says narrow is the way. So you going the wrong way, boo. It might not be no sign, but you going the wrong way. I'm trying to help you get to the right way because I had to do it for myself. When you have to do that work for yourself and you have to get yourself back in line and you have to focus back on what you know. Not to say that I don't love my kids, I don't love my family, because yeah, I do have people in my circle. But as far as just outsiders coming in, I ain't real quick to be just, yeah, I'm a very personable person. I am friendly as all get out. I mean, I really don't do people like that, but I'm friendly as all get out. I can get along with a pit bull puppy. You know what I'm saying? That you done been feeding gunpowder to for about 6 months. I don't have a problem with nobody. But the problem I have is when your lifestyle start interfering with the way I'm going with God, then I got to cut you off and I don't have no problems. I don't feel bad about it. When you start trying to get me out of character, then that's when it's a problem, because we're going to be tempted, tested, and tried. And which goes right back to Resurrection Sunday, the 7 last sayings and all the stuff that happened and him saying it's finished. And, you know, that's completion. When you complete something, you know what I'm saying? When you finally he came, he saw, he did what he had to do, and it's over. Because here's what people do not understand. Everybody that had any involvement in Jesus getting to Calvary, here's the point, baby. He was going empty way. That was what he was sent to do. That's what he asked to do. That's what he came to do. Did it hurt? Yes. It didn't feel good? No. It's just like us with kids and with marriages and with relationships and with jobs. Every day ain't no sunshine and rainbows out in this piece. It's just like I told my kids, and 2 or 3 of them, I got 3, on different occasions, they done jumped up and said, oh, you said you didn't want no kids. You asked me when I was a kid, did I ever say I was going to have 3 kids? No, I said I wasn't going to have none. But when I got married and I knew I wasn't on no birth control, I knew I was going to have some kids. I'm not crazy. And when they showed up, I was happy. I was happy about these kids. What I'm not happy about is the foolery that go on in between birth and them getting to, I always say 30, because at 30, that's like some kind of revelation hit. All of a sudden, you like, I done did the fool for too long and I got to get myself together. You know what I'm saying? And it just, I don't know, it just changes you. Something about that changes you. But we getting ready for Sunday, the day he got up. And some of us, we not ready to take the grave clothes off. But in the morning when you open your eyes, baby, you got to be ready to come up out the grave and take the grave clothes off. You got to be ready to get up. Whatever been holding you down, you got to be ready to give it up. You got to let it go. You got to be like, okay, and yeah, it was a mistake in there, but it was really a real thing, because when I say give up, you got to be able to give up and let God take control. Like I said, I do addiction counseling, and you got to realize that you are powerless over your own life. You do not have that control. You can't determine if you get sick, if you're gonna have a headache, if this, that, and the third gonna happen. Before I get migraines, I had this little weird stuff that goes on with my eyes. I had my glasses off because of the glare, but I got this weird stuff that goes on with my eyes. Like the vision isn't really doubled. It's not really blurred. It's kind of scrambled, and I can see, but I might see something over here, and then I might see something over here, but this part in here, I don't see nothing. It's weird. It's called the aura or whatever, and you can see all these lights. I don't have control over that. I can't fix it. I'll take a Tylenol, try to simmer that bad boy down before it get crunk, and go from there. But we have to realize we don't have control. You keep saying my kids ain't never. Your kids ain't never, you a lie. My kids won't ever, you a lie. Because they gonna do whatever they gonna do. You can't say my husband, my boyfriend, anybody I fool with ain't no, we good at that. Who ain't never. You cannot make that determining factor. You cannot make that. That is not your choice. God got all power. You have zero control of what is going to happen. You don't even know if you're going to wake up in the morning. You don't even know if you're going to see the next second, the next minute. You have zero control. Then when you get that under control, then you do one day at a time. And it's not because I'm trying to talk to no drug addicts, because I'm trying to talk to people living real life. We do one day at a time because tomorrow is not promised. It's biblical. I'm trying to help somebody. It's biblical. One day at a time is biblical. Tomorrow is not promised. Take no thought of tomorrow, because tomorrow has enough worries of its own. It's biblical. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's biblical. The stuff that we use in the world, it be lining up with the word so tough, and we ain't read it, and we don't know for ourselves, and we think, oh, it just sound good. It's a good saying. It's a good this. It's a good that. So much stuff came from the word, and we don't use it, and we don't apply it. Apply the word to your life and watch your life change. Everybody, I can't do this. I can't do that. It made me feel so good when I heard my big sister say, oh, prayer been working. I've been praying. Because you can't force religion on nobody, and you can't make people do nothing. But that's what that is. And it's a great thing when you seeing God work in your life. And I'm just saying, people, just know your purpose. Watch God work in your life. Apply the word to your life. And it'll help you so much. I'm just so grateful to God for all the many accomplishments, because I know I didn't do nothing by myself, and I ain't gonna take credit for a doggone thing. I got to give God every bit of glory that is due him, and tell him hallelujah and thank you, Jesus, for being there, for saving me, for watching over me, and for being what I needed you to be. So y'all be blessed. Happy Easter. Enjoy. It look like it's going to rain. Maybe it won't tomorrow. Maybe the kids can Easter egg hunt. Let these babies be babies while they babies, and hold these grown folks accountable to being grown. Thank y'all so much.